Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Minds and Money London is still ongoing with Commodity TV in the virtual edition. And last but not least, our interview now with Peter Hambre, the chairman of IRC. Welcome and hi to London. How are you, Peter?
I'm fine. Thank you for calling us.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time, and thank God we made it. That's fantastic. I really had a look onto your company, and it looks really interesting to me. I must say, you are the largest or one of the largest iron ore miners in Russia and in the Far East here. So please give us a short insight or overview onto your company.
Well, it's a company which we started a long time ago because, having been successful in the gold business, we decided we wanted to be involved in something that was a good counterweight, a hedge to gold. We thought that iron ore and titanium dioxide were the ideal ways to do that. It took us a long time to get it to work, building Russian businesses with Chinese labor and Chinese finance. A long way away was not easy, but we won in the end. And finally, just as the iron ore price started to really shoot up, we were ready to take advantage of it, and we certainly did.
Fantastic. So how was 2021 for your company? Have you been affected by COVID-19? And I must say, with the iron ore prices, if we look throughout the year, you must be very satisfied, right?
Well, it was absolutely. The first half was fantastic. It gave me such a pleasure. We really made some serious money, $170 million in EBITDA. Compared to a market capitalization of 213 million is a great thing, and we used a lot of that money to finally repay the debt, which we used to build the project. Since then, the iron ore price has come down, although it's bounced a bit tonight, and I think that there are good reasons. I think it will continue to go up. One of the reasons I think that there was a lull in the price is that the Chinese were very unhappy about having a lot of bad air during the Winter Olympics, so the steel mills were told to shut down for a while. But that's better. On the other hand, the weather has been bad, often is in that part of the world this time of year. This is always our worst time. And both COVID and other factors have caused congestion at the border crossing, several of the border crossings from Russia into China. And so that's giving us a bit of a hit. And we put out a notification just before Minds and Money to explain that. But it's a temporary phenomenon, not a serious one.
Absolutely.
So that's where we really are at the moment.
Yeah, super. As you are also professional in iron ore, what were the main reasons why iron ore was so volatile this year?
Well, it's largely the fact that China is the biggest consumer. When the tap gets turned off at the top, it just shuts the demand down, and people aren't allowed to do very much. As of the announcements today on the internet show that they are having a much more flexible view now, and the property business is picking up again. So I think that's is the cause of the volatility. It's also, remember, very hard to turn on the tap of iron ore and then turn it off again. So when the steel demand shuts, steel furnaces shut. Well, they can't shut, but they can slow down. Suddenly there's a huge build-up of iron ore, and people need to move it because they've got trains loaded and ready to go. So you get the spot prices is where the big variability comes in. We're very lucky because we produce a 65% iron ore concentrate, for which we get paid a premium, and the premiums have stayed strong. So that makes life easier for us.
Absolutely great. So when you're getting a premium, your balance sheet must look now quite good. You also said you have repaid your debt already, or
No,
most
we
of
haven't
the debt.
repaid it all, but we've repaid a lot.
So what does your balance sheet look today?
Well, you have to look at the half-year results before, which is better than me talking. But we have made good inroads into that. The biggest change, though, has been that as of this morning, it was announced that Petropavlovsk, which is the company which I co-founded 26 years ago, was the guarantor of our debt. And Gazprom Bank, the main lender, has decided that they no longer need that guarantee. And that has allowed Petropavlovsk to complete a sale, slightly unhappily, I think, of its stake for $10 million to a Liechtenstein-based shell company called Stocken. That was a deal which was put together when things were really bad, and the debt was weighing very heavily on Petropavlovsk. And to get $10 million to get rid of the guarantee was something the shareholders really wanted. And unfortunately, the management agreed to do that. And then, of course, the price shot up, and they sold for $10 million something that's worth $60 million. So, but that's in the past, and we're going to have new shareholders. We don't really know who's behind Stocken yet, but we'll know more about that, I think, tomorrow morning.
Okay. So who else are your shareholders? What has management share in the company?
Management has a little bit of stock, but not dramatically. It's basically the Chinese and Hong Kong investors. It's broadly spread across the Chinese stock exchange, the Hong Kong stock exchange.
Super. Where do you see longer term your company? Meaning we are approaching 2022. So where do you see, let's say, important objectives you want to reach next year? And for where do you see growth coming into your company?
Well, I don't know whether you heard the opening speeches at Mines and Money, but the speaker from BlackRock said that he saw that growth for growth's sake was something that mining companies shouldn't do. And so we're not interested in growth for growth's sake. We'll continue to develop the Sutara mine, which is the second deposit next door to our existing one. Down the road, we have two projects. One is iron ore at Garinskoye, which is a real world-class deposit. We could possibly be producing direct shipping ore there, or doing a longer-term operation, which would be concentration. And we need to do a lot more work on evaluation work on that. And the other thing, which is also very interesting at the moment because the price is good, is ilmenite, the source of titanium dioxide, which, as you know, is the ultimate white pigment. It's the thing that is in every tin of paint, toothpaste tube, anything that is all packaging has got a little bit of titanium dioxide there to make, because that's reflects the colors. It's a bull market commodity, and Balshosem, which is again very close to the railroad, is something that we would look to develop as another local operation. On top of that, we've had some very interesting things shown to us in terms of acquisitions, and so there are things that we would like to do, but it'll be very, very conservatively done. We're not going out to spend a lot of money that we don't have.
Okay.
And the other thing we want to do is pay a dividend.
Yeah, that would be also one of my questions. What does would a dividend look like?
Well, we're having to pay off the banks. We've been working for the banks for ages now, and getting towards the end of having to do that. And after that, we've nothing to do with the money except give it back to the shareholders.
Super. That's always a good idea. How do you handle ESG, and how is that rated of the importance in your company? Because I think you just referred to BlackRock for the opening speech, and I think BlackRock is somebody who is really looking now also after ESG for investment criteria. What are you doing there?
Well, in our presentation, we showed that we had made huge strides in sustainability and preserving the environment, water treatment, carbon consumption, and so on. And we treat it very seriously. You can't not do so in the money market now, because if you're not seen to be trying to be good guys, people just simply won't invest in you.
Absolutely, that's super important. I see it the same way. And how is the, let's say, you said already you have a lot of Chinese Hong Kong shareholders. So how do you deal with China itself? Probably you are also shipping a lot of iron ore to China. Have you faced any logistical problems?
Well, bulk commodity mining is all about logistics. And there we are extraordinarily fortunate, because our existing mines are about 100 miles from China. Currently, we're shipping quite a long way. We're very close. We're only, I think, about 3 or 4 kilometers from the railroad when we opened the mine, and we built a state-of-the-art rail yard there, so we can deal with rail handling very, very efficiently. Russia and China have taken over a project which we started, which was to build a new bridge over the Amur River, Heilongjiang River, depending whether you're Russian or Chinese, which divides the two countries. And that cuts an enormous amount of transport costs for us. And this is particularly important because the wagons take the iron ore one way, but they come back empty. So there's no backhaul. And so cutting the distance it's like cutting double the distance because of the no backhaul. That will make a big difference to us. It's taken an enormous amount of time to build, and it's been promised that it's going to be operational next year. But this year it looks as if it might be.
Fantastic, super. Last question: where do you see your competitive advantages in regard to your competitors?
Well, the fact that we've got very sound ore bodies with good grades. We've got excellent rail connections, and the fact that we are thousands and thousands of miles closer to China than Brazil or even Australia.
Okay, super. Peter, thank you very much for the insight in your company. It sounds all great. I wish you Merry Christmas, all the best, and hope to talk soon to you.
And a happy and prosperous New Year to you too.
Yes, thank you very much, Peter. All the best. Thanks and bye-bye. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Mines and Money London, the Commodity TV virtual session here with Peter Hambre, the chairman of IRC. Yeah, you heard it, interesting iron ore, but also soon ilmenite business. And the company is doing quite good. Had some big changes as per today with the shareholder base also paying back a lot of debt already, and they want to pay dividends in the future. So check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.